Hello everyone and welcome back to another Black Desert Global Lab patch notes reading. So if you don't know, Global Lab notes come out every Friday and usually comes to the live servers the following week. So it's always a good idea to keep up with the notes coming out and seeing what's changed, and you can prepare in advance. But today I heard there were some class balance changes, so I wanted to actually take a look at this. And also, this is translated from Korean to English from the official site, so if you want to read it yourself, I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can do that. But anyway, I'll try to make it make sense, and let's get right into the news because I'm curious to see what's changing. All right, so various classes, balance changes. First, they've adjusted the attack power gain from skills through passive and active. Probably a good idea. Bonus damage skill, I assume that means like higher defensive, particular guards. Okay, I got it. So let's look at it. Warriors, AP when using the skill counterattack is 28 to 32. That's cool. Not really much to say about that one. Just more damage when using a flow. Rangers. Holy, that's a lot of text. What that is a wall of numbers. Okay. Okay, so let's see. The ranged attack increased from +1 by 1 to a total of +5. However, the PvP damage is scaled the same. Okay, let's see this. So essentially, they want it to look functionally the same because they're changing stats and they have to balance it for PvP, if that makes sense. This doesn't look like it really changes much, to be honest, but we shall see. Awakening. This is what really matters. Attack range power. Ranged attack power 10 to 12, so that's an upgrade or buff. And then adjustment for PvP. Zerker. The effect of increased melee attack power 28 to 32. That's cool. Tamer. Dude, I have not seen a Tamer main grinding in literally years, to be honest. That's crazy. All right. No, okay, 22 to 28. I have no idea. Oh, wait, hold on. What is this? Is this tailing? No, wait, that's a different thing. Forward guard added. Is that like a lingering flow or something? I have no idea. Valkyrie. Valkyrie is being updated to distinguish between Succession and Awakening. What does that even mean? Succession will focus on supporting allies. So basically, Succession, Valkyrie is now a support and like support tank. And Awakening is like DPS in a way. But okay. That's actually kind of interesting. You would think that they would do that to Warrior too, but no. Critical hit chance increased by 20% for you and your nearby allies for 30 seconds. That's actually good. That's pretty nice. Oh, that's the same thing. And now it's surrounding yourself for 3 seconds. So instead of self and surrounding allies, okay. Wait, so what even? Oh, so instead of just using it in the awakening state or Lancia, it just, you get the whole thing. So it's the same thing, but you don't have to be in a certain stance. Okay. You know, one thing about Valkyries is I was never able to get into it because it has a lot of S attacks. So like, you know how, for example, Dark Knight is shift plus a lot of other key combos or skills. Valkyrie is a lot of down attacks. So that's just like something my hands don't get used to. It's weird. I don't know how to describe it. But like, yeah, Valkyrie was my first ever character but couldn't get used to S attacks plus everything. So instead of this one, increased all damage reduced by 30. Yeah, so that's pretty good. Defensive postures, more warrior tanky now. That's cool for everyone who wanted to play those support tank roles. You know, now that I think of it, if they're making these kind of defensive changes, maybe in PvE, you know how like traditional MMOs are like tank, healer, DPS? I wonder if they're going to sort of implement that. So in the future, there's going to be some sort of like new dungeons or, you know, Ataraxian part like 5 or something. And then they'll make it so Valkyries are, you know, absorbing more damage and stuff. That might be pretty cool. Who knows? Wizard and Witch. Oh boy, this is always a fun one to read. Every time I see caster changes, I'm like, what's going to happen today? Is this going to affect large-scale PvP? All right, increased magic power 20 to 24. I mean, sure. I guess that's good. Damage for PvP has been adjusted, and then this is just like, with this adjustment, this is the new rates and formula for whatever that's worth. That's a lot of numbers and wall of text for every single skill. Holy, that's like that's like 5 pages of info. A lot of numbers, actually, for all of that to say it feels the same. All right, Striker. All attack power increased by 20 from 28 to 32. Do Strikers really need a buff though? Strikers are just strong. Like, they've been strong since launch, and then has always just stayed the same near the top ever since. But I guess in terms of balancing, they probably do need it. But I don't know, man. Like, Strikers have always been pretty good. Okay, so then number changes. Mystic for Awakening. Why is it always by +4? Like, I feel like all classes aren't made the same. Like, giving 4 AP to all classes does not like balance anything. It like, so like, for example, I don't know, like Tamers probably do not equal Striker levels of damage, and or Corsairs are not the same, but who knows? Dark Knight. Oh, they're actually doing Awakening Dark Knight changes. Maybe it'll be one day it'll be competitive with Succession. Knockdown has been changed to only apply to monsters. Good lord, that's a nerf. Why? Dude, comma slash is like what you do to knock down people in PvP. What in the world? Why'd they take that away? It's not even easy to use this ability. Like, you have to hold and then move, whereas some other classes just press one button. This is like a 4-button combo because you have to hold the thing and then get behind someone to knock them down. Usually that's how it works, and then it's now changed to only monsters. What the heck? Awakening is getting worse and worse every year. All right. Added a knockback effect when one hit is successful. What the heck? You use Trap of Vidir to like get out of situations. This isn't really a not like, if anything, this should be like stun stiffness or something, but not knockback. Like, you don't want them to get pushed back. You're using this mostly to get out of situations, or like to like group them up. You don't want them to get pushed further away from that. I think they were looking at this in a PvP perspective, and it's like, here, you're getting out of a situation but also knocking them back. So like a stun stiffness would be better to use, because you don't, like, you know how all CCs are not the same. Like, knockdown it lasts longer than like a stun or a knockback. Well, knockback stun should, I mean, I feel like a stun stiff would probably be better for both PvE and PvP, but it is what it is. Flow can be linked with Dark Scatter. That's a Korean translation, by the way. And change that stamina is no longer restored when using the skill. Why are they nerfing Awakening DK even more? It's like, for the past year and a half, dude, like Succession has been significantly better in both PvE and PvP for Dark Knight, and they're just making this worse for Awakening. Holy, what's happening? Soul Snatch added 50% crit chance effect. Brother, no one is using that one for... This is a filler skill, not even a main damage. And does not even apply during cooldown. For most abilities for Awakening Dark Knight, you don't even need crit rate crystals or like the Reforged stones. So adding this one seems so irrelevant considering it's not even main damage. Holy, I think, dude, this is like a nerf to Dark Knight. This one is bad. This one is like not as bad, but still pretty bad. This one is so irrelevant. Spirit Slash added a forward guard when using the skill. Increase the amount of time a character can rotate relative to camera. This one's actually good. So I've talked about this one for a while because you can hotbar the flow and skip the main execution. So it would do like one slash and then you would do the flow for that one. But if you hotkeyed the flow directly, you would skip the first phase of it. And so like this animation was so slow that you can literally get grabbed out of it, CC'd, and like it wasn't worth using. So the fact that they're adding a forward guard to it is actually good. It doesn't make the skill good, but it's good now. And increase the amount of time a character can rotate relative to the camera when using. That's probably good. So this is also a filler skill. You don't really use it in your main rotation. It's just kind of like in PvE situations when enemies have like 1% health and you're just trying to clean off things, and then this is it. PvP, very situational, but I mean this is a good change after getting three bad ones. So this ability, Vidir something, this was like it got changed to be like an activatable. So when you use it, your main attack, like normal attacks, got buffed and damaged, but it drained your MP pretty rapidly, actually, to the point where it's still useless. And now I don't remember what it was before, but it's like slowing down the MP drain for using it, which doesn't really make it any better, but I mean, it's slightly better, but it's still pretty bad. So that's crazy. Still, like, if you can somehow manage to get yourself to use this one, it's not as bad. All attack power, something Nebula, Dark Nebula or something, is changed all AP from 12 to 18. So this one's good. This one is slightly better. This one is probably the best change. This is actually bad. Knockdown is only for PvE now. That's not good, actually. You want to be able to use this one. And it's not even an easy skill to use. You have to like learn how to position properly with this one. Trap, like I feel like they missed the mark on this one. I feel like this could have been good if it wasn't a knockback. If it was like stun stiff, that could have been slightly better or something. Just either way, I would take this one out. Just take this line out and then it'll be fine. Why are they making Awakening Dark Knight worse than it already is? Like, what in the world? That feels so bad. Succession has been better for over a year, and they're making Awakening worse. It doesn't even make any sense. Holy, okay. Let's read something different and maybe we'll be happier. Lon, AP increase +1. Effects have been changed to +2. Get one more AP, boys. Let's go. Okay. Shy had no skills that could trigger down attack, since down attack is now required in high-end monster zones such as Star's End and during the Olvia Academy. Oh, actually, that kind of makes sense now that I think of it. That's kind of good, actually. Down attack has been added to Quick 2, Quick 3. Oh, okay. The effect of using the skill consuming 3 leaves has been changed from 30 to 32 for all attack power. Do Shies really need more damage? I thought they were... I always thought Shies were like support to the point where like the current damage they do is probably fine. But I guess they're trying to scale it for going forward for like newer PvE spots or something. I have no idea. But this down attack one is probably actually really good. Especially for some shrine bosses, like the party boss shrines, where everyone has to unload CCs into things. Like that probably actually does help. Guardian from 2 to 4 AP. What a weird change. I mean, it's good, but weird. Corsair buff or change? Holy, this is a good day for Corsairs. Your second buff in like 3 years. Activation speed increased. W. Okay. Invincible to super armor. That's a downgrade. Invincible is the best protection you can get. Change from super armor to invincible. Wait, hold on. Wait. Change from super armor to invincible to super armor when using the skill. Wait, what? Oh, okay, so they're just removing invincible. Hold on. Let me see if I'm reading this right. Has been changed from super armor while using the skill to invincible. And then the arrow, super armor to super armor when using the skill. So if I'm reading this correctly, they are removing invincible. If that is correct, that is a downgrade. Change from air to down attack, actually good change. Down attack is the best CC you can get, and not a lot of things take air attacks except for in PvP, like other players, but like most things don't really do air, like, you know, air effect is not used the most in PvE. Speed reduction effects have been removed. The whale stream. Health recovery from 200 to 400. Probably pretty good. I wish, do you know how Pearl Abyss can fix, you know, health-based heals recovery? Is by doing percentages. Instead of flat numbers, because every week people are getting upgrades that give health, whether it's through crystals, Edania armor upgrades, even, you know, Fallen God armor upgrades give more health per armor piece. Whenever they do flat numbers, it's like a band-aid fix. Whereas if they do a percent heal fix, that will scale for the long term. That's how I see it. And they would have to be careful with those numbers as well. But like, even if it was like 0.1% and it functionally is the same thing, a percentage heal would be, you know, a lot better. And then eventually they're going to have it like Final Fantasy, where people have like literally hundreds of thousands of health and they have to tone down those numbers as well. But like, I think overall, like percent recovery would be a lot better. Flat numbers, flat heal, whatever. Nova. Succession Nova has been changed. You know how we talked about the other class that got tweaked in terms of, you know, they want to make Valkyrie more defensive? That's literally Nova. Nova should be like the tank, and then, or Succession Nova, that is. And an Awakening is damage, bruiser. Sage. All attack power has been changed from 20 to 15. However, the damage values so that the amount remains unchanged. So they nerfed the AP for these skills, but the damage number remains unchanged. What does that even mean? Dude, I swear, I like have to read these twice to make sure I understand what's happening. All attack power increases when using the skills. So this is a nerf, 20 to 15. However, the damage values have been adjusted so that the damage amount remains the same. What? Okay. Maybe that's just a translation error, and then we'll like see it on the live server. So why did they change it then? If they're gonna... Okay. Well, let's move on. Draconia. Succession has received adjustment to CC's effects to prevent them from unintentionally interrupting combos. They increase stability when diving into enemy lines. Forward guard. New skill. Cooldown reduction. That's good, actually. I always love seeing classes get cooldown reduction. It's just good. It makes things flow a lot better if you're good at your class. Amegu. Nerf damage. However, damage values are the same. What was the point of nerfing it if you're going to keep the damage the same? Dosa got buffed, but the damage is the same. Literally, I don't know, man. I'm just going to have to test this in PvP one day. Scholar got nerfed, but damage is changed in PvP only change, but no change in PvE. See, this one makes more sense. Like, this one... unchanged. They don't mention PvE or PvP, but this one got like a buff, essentially, according to these numbers. Now this one got nerfed, but they said it's only a PvP change. See how that makes sense, but the other ones don't? Oh, that's a lot of skill numbers. Okay. Wukong. These look like quality of life, or is this... what does this mean? Are these like... oh. Oh, okay. Let's just look at the picture. Is it like, you know, if the gourd is full and then it's like draining and you're using different abilities? Is that when it happens? Okay. This information cannot be confirmed by the Black Desert Lab and will be applied to the global or official server. Excuse me? What does that mean? The information cannot be confirmed. Brother, what? All right, well, go watch Divios, and then next week we'll see what happens. Canary's Way. Oh, +1 AP, let's go. Seraph. In large-scale combat, this has been constantly... okay, so here's what's... let me explain what's the problem with Seraph. They are squishy, and then they're supposed to be a mobile class, but it's not really. It doesn't even matter. So let's see. Stamina consumption when consecutively activating the skill has been changed from 50 to 100. Are they trying to say that Seraph is too fast and they want to increase the stamina so they can't be like a zoom class like Musa? I don't think that's the problem, actually. I really don't. Like Seraph, it's not like mobility is an issue, but for like a melee class, it's the defensives kind of issue. I don't think stamina is the problem. It could be a little bit, but I don't think that's the main issue. Dude, after reading all these notes today for like class changes, Perlibus has no idea what's happening, especially the Dark Knight one. I'm like, what in the world are those? They should be buffing things. Mostly today's felt like a whole lot of nothing. Some skills got buffed, but a lot of this is like whatever. Inland fishing revenue adjustments. Okay, so they talked about this in the Calpheon Ball, and they wanted to make all the other spots like more or less equivalent to Velia Coast. And so you know how Velia is like the most consistent silver, not necessarily the most silver, but the most consistent, especially with catching redfish and everything. So they kind of want to buff all the other spots up to Velia, and that's what they talked about. And I assume this is what they were actually talking about. So that's good. We'll have to do more testing when it comes out, and it's cool. Olvia Academy graduation schedule information. Right now, it's supposed to be on the 18th is when you graduate, and then they're reducing it by like a week or so. So, I mean, people can graduate a little bit earlier. Sure, I guess. It's not really a big deal. I would recommend getting all your rewards before finishing, graduating early, unless you really want that title. Make sure to get at least the important rewards like the hammers and everything else that has some sort of decent value. Resplendent Medals of Honor will no longer be obtainable through Node Wars and replaced with seals. Basically, use your things before next week, your Node War stuff, and then get your rewards for that. Improvements have been made to... Oh. Wait, hold on. You can sell these to the store? Hold on, let me pause. Pause. Like, these thingies, you can sell these to... These are going down in price? Maybe people actually buy them. Like, I just kind of collected them because they don't sell. And look. This thingy has been sitting for over a month. No sale. Minimum price, by the way. This thing, 100 of them, literally since October. No sale. Minimum price, by the way. Holy, okay. It's kind of crazy. So they're reducing the price in half for these and the crystal. Well, definitely people are not buying these anymore, but, I've had these sitting on the market for little months. You know what they could have done with these? Sell it to an NPC for 50 mil. That will remove the problem entirely. If you want, and then you could sell it on the market. Let's say market is it's very similar. And then how about this? 50 mil on the central market, or 40 mil to an NPC. That way, if people need it, you can pay for it, and get slightly more. Or if everyone's done, 2 years from now, you can just vendor them. This is actually a good change, reducing the cost of this, so maybe they'll actually sell. Somehow, I don't think so, because any endgame player is probably sitting on hundreds of them, if not thousands, depending on how much you grind. But the silent ones, I don't think the silent ones were a problem. Like, these are always selling. Even the other day, I was grinding Zephyros and got a few of these crystals, and then they sold for, like, not max price, but still pretty high up there. So, I don't think this one was a problem. Distorteds were the problem. Okay, so Orbita. There's two phases of Orbita. There's yellow phase and an orange. Yellow is just giving you a buff. Orange gives you bigger buff, but also reduces your DP. So I honestly think Orbita is like scarier to grind than like Zephyros, Star's End, upgraded ones. Like, this is a, what, 380 spot? And I think this one is harder than some of the 390 spots. Just because you're getting like a fat DP decrease. Yeah, so I'm glad they understand that this is a problem. So the defense reduction has been removed. Good job. It took you like 6 months, but they finally figured out the problem, why people are dying in this game. And at Orbita was literally that one. Holy, dude. I could have told them that the first week this came out of what the problem was, but apparently it took them 6 months. It is what it is. All it takes is one, maybe two people at Prolibus to play the game, and then this would have been a solved issue 6 months ago. Olvia Academy quests have been adjusted to make them easier to complete. You're just nerfing the numbers in half. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. This Olvia Academy is supposed to be for like newer players, teaching them the tutorials of combat and life skilling. Yeah, this is good. I mean, you're just cutting it down. Whatever this one is, make 100 instead of 100 to 90. How about just cut this down to like 20? Honestly, this one could be nerfed a little bit further. Same with this one. Everything else I think is fair. Okay. Mount level up system. I thought that was a good change, actually. Added the ability to increase the level of stable or mount to its maximum level at once. Wait, can't you do that already? Like, you just, or is it just like level up one or all at once? Oh, well, I get this quality of life then. I think the change for the XP thing, since that's already on the live server, this was a good change. But now they're making it better. Good. Oh. What is this? Continuously acquire items that have been added with this. Okay, so like you can open them continuously without having to spam your space button. God, this is absolutely an issue for people who buy those gamble boxes and are like, why do I have to push the button 50 times? This is absolutely a problem for whales. 99% of people will not have this problem. I know what you're doing, Prolibus. I know what you're doing. Added the ability to automatically place items in your family back. Dude, this actually good changed. Holy. Do you know how many times, like every day, for all of you who get that one, like, you know how if you have a value pack, you get one loot scroll? If only you guys knew, every single day I put my loot scroll in there. And then I end up just grinding and using it anyway, but like, organization. Holy, this is actually a good change. This is also one for people who spend money on the game and have a big family inventory, but it's a good change. Unlike the, gamble box one where people are mad that just spending $300 and have to spam the spacebar. I think this one's kind of funny, actually, but I mean, it is what it is. Lawn Dark Knight Nova. Fix the issue where Edania armor effect did not appear in the awakening state has been improved. What? Edania armor effect did not appear in awakening. Hey, guess why this thing is not shown? Like, why is this getting fixed like 6 months later after Edania armors came out? Guess what? If Awakening Dark Knight was good, people would have figured this out like 6 months ago. Academy stuff. Every week I always look for the controller issues. I don't even play with the controller. I'm just wondering how, like, people who play with the controller have so many issues. I guess that, like, learning how to do it and then having to press like 15 buttons is a different thing, but I'm just wondering, like, what is the issue? Okay, so anyway, songs with a playing time that exceeds 24 hours can no longer be uploaded to composition notes. Oddly specific, but you know, someone had to have tried that to have this be a problem. Oh god, shies are a different kind of player. Okay. All right, well, that has been it. I mean, today was a mixed bag of patch notes, a lot of them kind of funny and some of them actually kind of depressing, like most of these class changes. Yeah. The Dark Knight one really is not great. So dude, just remove this one, just remove this effect. Comma slash is a very strong ability and it is not easy to use this one. So if you can use it properly, you should affect PvP, but apparently they don't want people to have fun. Anyway, this patch note reading has been on long enough, and hopefully some of you guys stuck around for a lot of it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. And before I head out, I just want to say, if you're new to your channel, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you guys come back. We have a bunch of videos coming out the rest of this month, and yeah, there's usually a lot to talk about. So see you guys later. Peace.